Hi guys, so welcome to my channel. This is my very first video, first video published, or not published, loss of words, you know what I mean since you're watching it. I have tried to post videos in the past, but my self-esteem I was not up for it, and I'm hoping that I can push myself to do it now. I absolutely love the creativity that comes with doing your makeup. It shows just a little bit of yourself when you do it. I mean, you're trying to make yourself feel better in a way, and a lot of people know what I mean out there. I mean, you got, like me, I know that I am a beautiful person, but I love the uniqueness and color and creativeness that makeup gives you. So, why not get started? I'm going to be going with a fall look, some lighter colors, but still enough to make a little bit of a pop. So this could be a school look, or if you want to go a little darker with the colors, you could go for a night out on the town. I am not going to be using a winged liner. I love doing it, but for this video and for this makeup style that I am thinking I'm going to be using, I don't think that it'll work very well. So let's get started. I've already done my eyebrows. I've already, lined them and cleaned them up. So we are going to get started on the eyes. I do use foundation to, start with a clean base. And I'm going to be using Rimmel's Lasting Finish 25-Hour Breathable in the color 100 Ivory. This is the very first affordable foundation that I found that works really well for my skin tone. So I just use the little wand. I swipe it over my eyes a little bit. It makes me look a little strange, of course. And I grab my brush. Grab my brush. I'm going to be using Revlon's All Over Shadow, and I'm going to be cleaning this off and using this for some of my shadow as well, because, I just don't have enough brushes to use a ton. So I just spread that all over my lid. I try to stick to one direction that I'm going in. I don't like to, because there are still small brush strokes, but I do use my sponge to kind of get rid of those. Alright, so that's done, and I will now use my sponge. It is half of a sponge. I have a 2-year-old who likes to get into my makeup and ruin it all. I'm sure those moms out there, and even siblings with younger siblings, I'm sure they totally understand what I'm going at. So I'm just going to set it now with NYX Santa Monica. It is an eyeshadow. I'm going to be using this brush right here. It is stained from some Kool-Aid that my son stuck it in. It's clean, but it's stained. I'm just going to tap it off a little bit. And I'm going to be putting that all over the lid. Okay, so that is done. I'm going to be using the same brush to apply my first color. I'm going to be using the Magnif's eyeshadow contouring palette by Rimmel, London, and it is in the Grunge Glamour palette. There are no names for the colors I'm going to be using, and again, my son has gotten into all of my makeup, so nothing you see will be pristine. I'm going to be using this brown shade right here, and I'm just going to be putting that pretty much all over the lid. I'm not going to be going up towards the crease, but I'm going to be blotting that over the lid, and I will have a color to put over this. This is just going to be the base tone for now. And it is going to be one of those looks that look ridiculous at first, but in the end, it will turn out. And I said before, this could be a look that you use for school. I did wear a little bit of darker colors to school. So of course you've got the people who like to go a little bit more natural, so this may not be the way to go for you. Now a little bit about myself. I'm not going to be going completely personal. I'm not the type of person to want to splatter all of my news all over social media, especially something as revealing as YouTube is. Anybody and everybody can get on there if they wanted to. I have 2 little boys. I'm a military wife. My husband is out training right now. Whoopee. We just recently moved off of base, and honestly I think that it's a lot easier off of base. I mean, depending on where you go, off base is a lot cheaper, and I feel a lot less refined. I'm just going to be cleaning off my all over shadow Revlon brush real fast, and with a diaper wipe. Tell you, those, they come in handy for pretty much everything. You know, I keep them just in the diaper bag even when I don't have the kids around, just in case something happens. And I'm going to be going in on top of this, or you know what, before that, I'm going to be taking this cute little gold unicorn brush. I am not sure the brand. I bought it at what is that store? I believe it was Ross. I bought it at Ross. And I'm going to be taking the Santa Monica shadow again that I used to set my eyes, and just lightly blend out the brown that I used, so it's not so harsh in the crease. Alright, so now I'm going to be taking that all over shadow Revlon brush, and I'm going to be dipping it into NYX's The Valley eyeshadow. Excuse me, it is a very beautiful, I think, very beautiful color, and it has quite a bit of pigment to it. Let me show you, and there's not a lot of fallout that I think. There's quite a bit of pigment. So let's get going with that. I'm just going to be putting that on top of the brown shadow, and I'm going to be dipping back into the Valley eyeshadow, just so I don't rub off the color underneath, because I want that brown to stay under there as an undertone to really make this top color pop. And I am blending it out a little bit more, and I'm going to go back with a with my blending brush to clean it up, because right now the crease is very harsh in color, and we want that to blend out and not be so intense. And we're not going to be going all crazy with a ton of different colors, and I'm blending out right now. I'm just going for a quick look, but a simple and pretty look. Now, some of you may not like to go this dark. You could, of course, eliminate the brown underneath altogether and just go with the maroonish color. That way it'll be a little bit lighter, not so harsh. I'm going to be dabbing a little bit into the Valley eyeshadow and deepening it into my crease a little bit and bringing it out. Alright, so I will just finish up on the other side, and I'll be right back. Alright, so that color is done. I'm not, damn it. so that color is done. I'm going to be moving on to a different color. I thought that after the Valley, I would not want to add any more color on top of that, but I'm feeling it needs a little bit more to it. So I'm going to be taking another of the Magnif eyeshadows from Rimmel London, and this one is London Nudes Calling. And I'm going to be taking these two shades right here, the purplish and the kind of grayish brown tone. And I'm going to be using this same brush. Sounds weird, but you know, when you don't really want to go out and buy any more, you use the same brushes. And I'm going to be putting that just on the lid, but on the lower part of the lid. I know I said that we were going to be putting the brown on the lower part of the lid. This is going to be more toward the lining area. It is going to blend out and blend into the maroon color. This will just give it a little bit of a darker tone. And I'm going to be using this on my under eye as well. I have learned with the Rimmel London darker colors that they do tend to they have a lot of fallout. That's why I usually stick to doing my foundation after I do my eyeshadow. That way I won't have to wipe my face or take a brush to it and have a mishap happen, because sometimes I will be lucky and nothing will happen, but other times it'll just continue to smear all over my face. Alright, so there's that. Before I put on my mascara and do everything else, I'm going to be putting on my foundation. I will do my liner and my under eyes and the mascara after foundation. So I'm going to be using the same thing that I used to prime my eyes, and again, that's the Rimmel Lasting Finish 24-Hour Breathable. Wow. And I'm also going to be listing everything below in the description box. So I'm just going to go ahead and take the little wand and now this does not have a whole ton of coverage. It is, like it says, breathable. So I do go a little bit more, but I also don't like a whole ton of coverage. Makes me break out a whole lot more, because sometimes, you know, you go on your day and, you know, as a mom, sometimes you do pass out with your makeup on. I know that it's not, you know, recommended, and it's not good for your pores. Definitely not good for your pores. But as a mom, you go through your day, you kind of just forget about it sometimes. You just, especially with two little boys under the age of 4 that are both still in diapers, and you just, well, I should correct that. One of them is potty training at the moment, and it's interesting. I thought my parents were joking when they said that it would be a joke, to put it mildly. But nope. It's definitely a joke. Ooh, there was that. I think for my next video I'm going to get a new beauty blender because that is definitely needed. I'm going to be using this clean blush brush, and I'm going to be using the same Santa Monica eyeshadow to set my face. Or well, for finishing powder. I have not been able to really find an affordable powder that I like. That doesn't make my face go crazy. And I know that changing up the routine and using different products on your face can cause breakouts as well, but this is my favorite to use to set and for base color and to for powdering my face. And I'm sure as I explore more brands and more options, I'll finally find that one actual face powder that works for me and my skin tone. Alright, so there's that. I'm putting this away. And next, for cheeks, I'm going to be using e.l.f. and the letters have come off. I think I've had it for like 6 months, and it is in the color Shy. It's a very pretty color. I wish it wasn't so glimmery, but I am going to be using that same blush brush. I just do a slight smirch just to get a little bit of the apple on your cheek showing. I don't know why I said apple. I think I knew what I meant. Just to get a little bit of color there, and you want enough color that that the eyeshadow doesn't drown out your face, but you don't want to look like you're coming off a show in the 80s. Not that I didn't like the 80s, I thought they were very... And I like the shows that they're coming out now that, you know, turn back to the 80s. I think it's really cool, and you know, it gives us a little bit more to look back at. And I'm going to be going... I think I lost one of my brushes. Well, okay, that's another thing to look for while going through the house. Alright, so I'm going to be using the blush brush again. Let me clean it off. And I'm going to be using the e.l.f. eyebrow, I guess it's eyeshadow, kind of, but it's got... I don't know how to describe it, so I'm just going to leave it at that. No technical words. It's in the shade medium. I use this side for my eyebrows, and I use this side for my bronzer. I don't like to use eyeshadow for my bronzer. It seems to get a little bit, it gets a lot darker a lot quicker, but it's not dark enough for my eyebrows. That side isn't. So I use an eyeshadow for my eyebrows after using the cream. And then I just use this, the shadow side, for my bronzer. It's not too dark. It just gets the job done. I just go with the natural crease on my cheeks. There's a natural light shadow just right there. And I just match it up with the corner of my mouth right there. Alright, so now that we are done with that, I do not like to contour my forehead, since I will be, my hair will be covering that anyways. So I'm going to go ahead and use, all my brushes are disappearing. I had it, it's right in front of my face. I'm going to be using this brush right here that we used for the brown, and I'm going to take that, the grayish brown color and the purpley color from the London Nudes Calling palette. And I'm going to dip it in just on the very top and then dust it over my under eye. Now I am just getting into my head about you always have that one eye that's better than the other, and mine seem to switch up on a regular basis, and it bugs me so much. So far, I'm liking this one so much more. This one just seems to, my left side just seems to keep irking me. It's just irking me. So I'm going to take my little blending brush and see if I can ease this up a little bit. Maybe I can bring it out and not ruin this completely. And I do use my fingers sometimes to gently remove some of the color. I've realized that I'm also saying a lot. Alright, so let's see if I can mimic the same thing over here. And keep putting my compact mirror in front of the camera. Alright, so there's my under eyes, and I'm going to be using the color Pasadena in the NYX Professional Makeup as well, or that's just called NYX Professional Makeup. Came with this little cute box that I don't have anymore, unfortunately. And I'm going to be using my pinky. No, I'm not going to be using my pinky. I have a brush for this one that I like to use. I'm going to be using the other side of the Revlon Smokey Eye brush. And for this, I'm only going to use a little bit. This is for the corner of my eyes to give it a little bit more oomph, kind of. Just give it some highlight. And I'm going to be highlighting my the peak on the other side of my brow as well, but I'm not going to be using this color. I'm going to be using a lighter color. And I like to blend the corner, the corner highlight in with the with the rest of the eyeshadow on my eye, so it doesn't look so forced. Kind of, I like to think of it as a forced color if it's not blended in. Well, that's the only way I describe it, at least. Oh, color is really sticking on my left eye. Wow. So I'm going to take a wipe and clean off that brush because I'm going to be using the same side on to highlight the peak on the other underside of my brow. And I'm going to be taking the this one I did not think out. I'm going to be taking this peachish color right here in the same London Nudes Calling palette for the Magnif eyeshadows. I'm just going to be taking a little bit. I don't want to go too much on this. I like to glow, but I don't want all the color to stick right there. And I'm going to be putting another color on top of the Pasadena on the corner of my eyes, just to make it a little bit more vibrant. And it is a NYX color as well. I think it's disappeared on me. It is called Beverly Hills, and it is my all-time favorite to use during the summer, but it is a great highlight color as well. And this is the shade. It is very beautiful. It's a light golden tint to it. And it's great if you want just a little bit extra there. There we go. Alright, so I'm going to be using a mixture between the light pinkish tone that I used on my eyebrows and the Beverly Hills color, and I'm going to put that on my middle finger here and blend that out on highlight on my cheeks. Now I know this isn't exactly, you know, traditional, but lack of brushes, and I don't really like using highlight brushes. They take off a lot of the makeup, and using my fingers seems to help the product to really stick. I get a lot more shine this way, and I really like it when my cheekbones are just, they are out there. I really enjoy that. So, and I'm just going to use a lot less on the bridge of my nose, and right there on the tip of my nose as well, and a little bit on my Cupid's bow. Now on my Cupid's bow, I mostly use just the Beverly Hills, but I added a touch of the pinkish color. So I'm just going to, is a Younique mascara. And after my mascara, I'm going to be using e.l.f.'s black eyeliner, and I love this eyeliner so much. I usually use dollar store eyeliners, and they don't have a lot of color, of course, but hey, whatever. So this is Younique's Moodstruck Epic Mascara. I bought this from a friend. And just drop my mascara now, that's how we go, or that's how we roll. I like to put the wand, I like to brush the wand in a slight back and forth motion on the very tips of my eyelashes. And of course that would happen as well. And then after I've done both sets, and I don't use falsies very much except for on, you know, special occasions. I want to get into using them more, but I want to get good ones before I start to use them too often. That way I know that I'm using quality brands and quality glue that won't come off within the first 5 minutes of using it. Alright, so after I do that, I go back in and I do the whole lash. And this, for me at least, I know everybody has their own way of doing it. This, I seem to get very volumized and lengthy lashes just by using mascara. And this is for any mascara that I use. Okay, so now finishing touches on the eyes and then on to lips. I'm going to line my upper waterline just so it looks more put together. And what I usually do is I take the liner and I take it to the outside of my waterline where the bottom and the top connect, and I wing it just a little tiny bit, just so it's there. I'm going to be lining just slightly on the waterline on the bottom as well. I don't want it to be too dark because my eyes are already very dark. Alright, and now on to lips. Okay, I'm going to be using 3 different colors for my lips. I'm going to be using JLB Cosmetics Liquid Lipstick, and there is no color name for it, so it's just a pinkish, but it's not hot pink, but it's a pinkish color. And then I'm going to be using Victoria's Secret's Color Shine Gloss in the color Red Hot. And also, I'm going to be mixing that gloss with another Victoria's Secret's in After Dark. And these are those 2 colors. I love these lipsticks. So, I'm not a big fan of, lip glosses, not lipsticks. I am not a big fan of how my lips are shaped. The top is very uneven. So, I overline slightly. Not a lot, because I can't stand when you can very obviously tell when a person's lips are extremely overlined. So actually, as I'm doing my, putting on my liquid lipstick, it's making me think of how many videos I've watched of just, they swipe on their lipstick so quick and so perfectly, I don't even understand it. And one of my favorites to watch put on their lipstick, and not in a creepy way either, it's just because it's so perfect, is Nikki from Nikki Tutorials. And she is a huge inspiration for me. I haven't been following her for that long, only for a couple of years. But I mean, even in some of her videos where she shows us how she applies her lipstick and she cleans it up, still, it just looks so unbelievably perfect. And, you know, to watch her videos from the past years as well, and from when she started out, is just absolutely amazing, the journey that she went through with makeup, and that is completely inspiring. I'd love to just at least have half of that. I don't even know the words, oh, well, here I am sitting here with half of my lips done, and I completely forgot to finish my sentence. I would absolutely love to just have half of her glow, her glow up, basically. Oh, I totally should have cleaned that brush before I did that. Wow. Can't even blame that on mom brain either. I just closed it right up and then, wow. So, continuing on, so here is my finished look. I did not end up using the After Dark from Victoria's Secret gloss. I just used the JLB Cosmetics liquid lipstick. I believe that is yes, that is a matte shade. And the Red Hot from the Red Hot gloss from Victoria's Secret. There I go, saying all over again. So here is my final look. I don't really know how to finish this up. I've watched a million different YouTube videos, but I think I am stuck here. I do want to conclude with Nikki has definitely been a huge inspiration for me to actually finally get this started. I have watched her videos from the beginning and all the way to the top, which sounds so weird, but I love to watch her transformation and her glow up. And she's just an absolutely huge inspiration for me. If she ever ended up watching this one day, you know, that just touched my heart, basically. So, follow me, subscribe, or same thing, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more. I'm going to be making this a regular thing, I'm hoping. And let me know what you think, please. Any changes, anything that you think that I should improve on, you know, constructive criticism is always welcome, is definitely welcomed. You know, any comments at all. Well, thank you.